And this win by Team Rose made me kind of think about the plight of their head coach. I talked about Nola Henry a little bit before, but I want to talk about her a little bit more. Also, guys, if y'all could, please hit that like button. Please hit that like button. That really does help the channel out a whole lot. We got about 190 people in the chat right now. I thank y'all so much. Salute to y'all for rocking out with me. If y'all could, make sure to hit that like button. We're at about 45 likes. If we can get to 120 likes, that would be absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. Okay, let's continue on. Now, we're gonna quickly go through Nola Henry and who she is real quick. Then we're gonna go into the thing that y'all really want to talk about, which is my bracket for the NCAA tournament. Okay. So let's talk about Nola Henry, because Nola Henry is she has been the epitome of resilience, and just staying with it. Because sometimes you just have to start somewhere. Just about 4 years ago or so, Nola Henry was grinding away behind the scenes as an intern for the Connecticut Sun, doing whatever she could to stay around the game that she loved. She's someone who, played in college. She played in college, ended up getting into coaching, became an intern, and now at 29 years old, she was hired as a head coach for the inaugural season of Unrivaled. And on Monday, she made history as the first ever championship winning coach in Unrivaled, and just one of two female coaches in the league, winning with her team. Now, her journey came as a college player. She was a college player, a short college player, 5'7" guard at UMass Amherst. She played there before she transferred to the College of Charleston, where she played for two more seasons, right? Then after her college career was over, her playing career was over, she ended up transitioning into coaching in 2018, where she joined the staff at Fairleigh Dickinson, FDU, the team that is actually in this is their first tournament season for FDU. So like that's a full circle moment. Anyway, she was a grad assistant at FDU, but her big pro break came when she landed an internship with the Connecticut Sun in 2000, where she was under the leadership of then head coach Curt Miller, where she assisted in player development. She was a video coordinator. She worked with the team operations. And when she took over when Curt Miller ended up going over to the LA Sparks, Nola Henry ended up following him, becoming a top assistant for the Sparks. In 2024, meaning, at the end of last year, she ended up being a interim head coach for the Sparks for 2 games. And then her big opportunity came. Her big break came. Unrivaled became a thing. They were looking for coaches, and then they ended up picking Nola Henry as a head coach. This was a new challenge. This was a groundbreaking 3-on-3 women's basketball league. They needed coaches to coach in a style that coaches traditionally have never done. Full court 3-on-3. It's a different style. They needed coaches who had a heart for player development, and they needed coaches who could kind of learn on the fly and just kind of get in where they fit in. And Coach Nola Henry was named one of the 6 head coaches for Team Unrivaled. And she took charge of Team Rose. And, this was a squad that featured some huge talent like Chelsea Gray, Kalia Copper, Angel Reese, Brittany Sykes, Lexi Hull, Azurá Stevens, right? And from the start, Nola embraced the challenge. And she embraced the learning opportunity that this brought. The thing I loved the most about Nola Henry this season is that she didn't act like a know-it-all. She did not act like she just knew exactly what to do and whatnot. She didn't act like she didn't make any mistakes. She was a coach who actually talked in the press conferences, actually told us her thought process, and showing that she was someone who could adapt on the fly. She was someone who listened to her players, Sometimes when Chelsea Gray was like, actually, you know what? I got to play. Nola gave her the board. Right, girl, write your play down. Let's run it. Let's do it. She was someone who, she kind of rolled with the flow and put out strategies and motivation that could work for her squad. And as the games went on, Nola got better at her player rotation. She got better at the overall scheme of the team, and ultimately we see what happens. But initially, it wasn't an easy road. Team Rose started the season 1-4. There was a whole bunch of doubters for Team Rose, and ultimately, Nola Henry used that as motivation. Even when injuries started piling up, when Copper was out for the rest of the season with a leg injury, when Angel missed the final 2 games, including the championship game, right, with a hand injury. The team could have floundered, but Nola Henry didn't let him. She was all about accountability. She was all about adaptability. She was all about belief. And she worked tirelessly with her players on strategy and execution. Before the championship game, Brittany Sykes was working on specifically drawing fouls. And in the championship game, to win the game, Brittany Sykes drew a foul, winning the championship for Team Rose. Making history in Unrivaled is pretty cool. Under Nola Henry's leadership, Team Rose stormed into the playoffs, and they ultimately took down Team Vinyl for the championship, delivering a fantastic basketball game. Here's the deal. I love awesome stories of players, teams, all that good stuff that show up and show out and defy expectations. So what's next for Nola Henry? Well, she is actually hired with the Dallas Wings. She is going to be an assistant coach with the Dallas Wings, reuniting with Coach Chris Koklanis and Kurt Miller, 2 people who know her very, very well. I'm excited to ultimately see what she is able to do with the Dallas Wings, and also we'll ultimately see if she returns next year as another head coach for Unrivaled. All right, now that is my little recap of Coach Nola Henry. I think it's pretty fun to talk about someone who took a unconventional, maybe you want to call it, journey to being an intern to basically 4 years later coaching a championship team. It's kind of cool. It shows resilience, it shows perseverance, it shows adaptability, and it shows undeniable talent. Started off as an underdog with her team, but now they're champions, and everybody has to take notice. All right, let's get to y'all comments. We're gonna do about 2 or 3 comments, and then we are going to move on. We're going to move on, okay? Thank you so much. Lilac says, weren't you one of the doubters? You said the Rose aren't winning anything in the beginning. Yeah, I didn't think. See, here's the thing. I am not pretending that I thought that Team Rose would win a championship. I didn't think they could. When the season started, if y'all remember, I had 2 teams. I had the Lunar Owls and I had the Laces. I thought they were the best teams in the league, right? I thought they were the best teams in the league, and I thought that they were going to, one of them were ultimately going to win it, likely Lunar Owls. Now, I was wrong. One, the huge issue with the Laces is I felt was injuries overall just kind of destroyed everything when it came to Unrivaled. Like, it's unfortunate that we had so many injuries throughout the season that prevented teams from being at their best and prevented them from having their best roster out there. But I didn't think Team Rose was gonna win the whole thing. I didn't at all, and I don't pretend I did. I didn't, which is what makes it just so much amazing that like most people didn't think that they were gonna make it that far, but they did. And I think that's awesome. Prove me wrong. Here's the deal. I am always okay with being proven wrong. I'm okay with that, because that means someone or several someones stepped up and stepped out. It's great. It is great. Shamika says Nola was cool under pressure too. She was. She was. She absolutely was. She absolutely was.